Good evening. Just waiting for Hayley to join us as always. Hopefully she won't take a moment. How are we all? We are going to talk contentment this evening. I'm super excited about this topic because I'm not a content person at all. So I'm really excited to have this conversation. Hi Hayley, I can see you watching. And join in. Ta-da!
Hello.
How are you?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Good, thank you. Nice to see you.
And you? Hair's looking lovely.
Thanks. Down.
Got it.
So I took it down because it was all dishevelled from teaching yoga.
Oh, nice. Looks good. I don't think I've seen it down before.
No, it's getting really.
Oh, it's really long. How'd you get it to grow so fast? What's your secret?
2 years of growth from shaved.
Yeah, mine stopped growing at all. It used to be really long. That's what we've come on to talk about, hair.
Yeah.
Got the Jesus vibes going though. It's looking good.
Contentment, Hayley.
Yes. So great topic.
I don't do it very
cutting out a little bit. I agree with you to a certain extent, but I'm a lot more content in my life than I used to be. I'm basing it on my past experiences of high highs and low lows. I'm much more balanced and content at times.
I like that.
Yeah.
Good. If I stop cutting out now, I just turn my Wi-Fi off.
Yeah, you have. Good. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, great.
Cool.
So I feel really conflicted about contentment because I feel like if I'm content, then what am I striving for? But then also contentment is in the present and striving for things in the future. I don't know. I don't sit contently very easily, and it's always been an ongoing theme for me. Even when I got what I wanted as such, I then am on to the next thing.
Yeah.
And I'm very.
Do you sit in the, once you've achieved something and you've got that thing that you were going after, do you sit in that for a moment in time and appreciate and be proud of yourself, or you're like straight onto the next thing?
No, I know when to stop and smell the roses as such.
Yeah. But
it's never the end. Nothing is ever the end goal. There's always something else. Yeah,
you're a big like striver, and I think you have the courage to go for it, whereas a lot of other people don't.
I'm quite fearless in that respect, but I think that was not my state as a child, but as an adult, that is absolutely who I am. How
do you get the courage to do some of the things you've done, to, you know, just be like, oh, I'm going to buy this studio and we're going to take a shot at it, and you don't have those fears, or you have the fears and you just do it anyway?
That one.
Yeah. Yeah. Whereas most people have the fears and let it stop them, right?
It's just blind faith.
Yeah.
But I guess if I could tell you where it came from, growing up, I was a very suppressed child because I knew from a very young age that I was a gay man. And that wasn't, in the 80s and 90s, that wasn't cool. Like, you couldn't do that. That wasn't a thing. So I spent my childhood suppressing myself, therefore wanted or had the need to control everything. And so I was very much a rule follower, very much. I never had a detention at school.
Wow. Polar opposites then.
My 6-year-old daughter got a detention the other day.
So different.
And I never had one at all. And and then there's no surprise that I went into a career in HR. It's very controlling. It's very authoritarian. And so it's very rule-based, isn't it? But then when my dad got sick and he didn't make it to his 60th birthday, and he'd worked 90 hours a week his whole life to get to retirement and never made it. And I was like, well, what the F is this all about?
Was that a pinnacle moment for you in when you started to question things and awaken to the truths of the world?
It was all very well timed. I mean, that's the wrong thing to say about someone getting sick and dying, isn't it? But I mean, in terms of, I'd started yoga a few years earlier. I then started exploring spirituality. And then that happened. So I think amongst all of that, it was all timed in a way that I was ready for that transition.
Yeah.
But I did go from one extreme to the other. And
yeah, as we
then,
often do.
yeah, and there was another aspect actually of my childhood when I had two things actually. This is quite silly, but I remember doing a Spice Girls quiz. Which Spice Girl am I?
Yeah, what one were
I think
you?
I was Jerry. I can't remember.
Is that Sporty Spice?
No, the ginger one.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm not up to date with
Yeah.
it too much, but yeah, I was definitely the Sporty Spice.
It was a Which Spice Girls Are You quiz. And then on it, there was a question that said, are you spontaneous, yes or no? And I didn't know what that word meant. So I asked my cousin, and he said, oh, no, you're not spontaneous. You love rules. And that was one moment.
Okay.
And then another moment where, weirdly, I had a girlfriend when I was at school. And her mum had told me about a conversation with one of her friends where her friend referred to me as being very straight-laced.
Oh, fair.
And so those two moments, I think I reflected back on them as an adult and were like, oh, no, I'm not. Why am I like that? Why do people think I'm that way? And actually, it's very Capricorn energy. You know, I'm Capricorn rising,
Okay.
but I'm also an Aquarian. So I'm meant to be a little bit unhinged, I think.
Yeah, and that's I like how you say you're rising, because the rising is how other people see you. Yeah.
Yeah. And then so I then kind of went in a 180, and then I became super spontaneous and fearless. But within that, I lost all element of content.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at. Although I know the benefit.
That's where you're at now. I was waiting for the rest.
Well, I mean, I give you really another. You know, I'm a car addict, right? You know this because you buy a car, and I've been sending you about 10 cars a day.
Thank God I finally bought one.
Yeah, happy car day for tomorrow.
Yeah, thanks.
And so I'm on like car number 34, I think, because I'm never content and I always want the next one. I always want the next one. And I'm at a point now where financially I'm screwed. And so I have to stick with the car that I've got now. And it was very uncomfortable for me at the beginning. However, I'm doing a conscious practice of getting in it and saying, it's fine, it's everything I need, it's a great car. And I'm trying to kind of talk myself into contentment with it, because I know that I'm going to have to keep it for the long haul. This will be the first car I would own for over a year.
Wow. And it's better than having no car, right?
Right. And so I'm having to learn contentment through something as materialistic as cars.
Yeah.
Because that's, part of me that is probably the most obvious from other people's perspective, my lack of contentment.
Yeah. Does it cause you issues in your life? Does it cause you suffering? Or is embracing who you are as a person who strives for better not necessarily that much of a bad thing?
It depends what you consider suffering. I mean, from a financial perspective, the car situation has effed me over many times over. You know, I've wasted a lot of money, but do I care about that? Not really.
Yeah.
Because I'm not that attached to money. I like having money and I like to spend it. And if I haven't got it, well, then we'll just figure it out, you know? And I've never missed a bill or, you know, never been homeless, or my kids don't want for anything, all of that, you know? So I don't really fear in that respect, although it's really tough times at the moment, just generally in the world around that subject. So I guess, like, yes, it could be detrimental from if we take finance as an example from a physical perspective, but it depends on your view on that. And my perspective is I bloody enjoyed changing my car every 5 minutes. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And I love the car shopping, right?
Yeah.
but that's just my thing. Like, I don't drink or don't smoke or, gamble or whatever. But this is my vice. But actually, that also relates to my dad and my family because we're all the same.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that's my view on contentment. How do you sit with it? What's your experience?
Yeah. So I've never felt more content in my life than I do at the moment. And there's a conflict as well, because I used to have such high and low feelings, which I hated when I was low, and just wanted to suppress everything, and it was all too much. But I find that I miss going to the highs. I miss that excitement, and even getting a car tomorrow, I'm sitting with it and I'm like, I don't like to say should, because I find there's a lot of pressure in the word should, but I feel like I should be a bit more excited for getting a car. But it's all kind of like, I don't know.
Just a thing.
It's just a thing. I'm no longer attached to like material things. And I do feel blessed to have these things, and really grateful to have a roof over my head and a bed to sleep in. But I would say that is contentment in itself. But I suppose that it's nice to have the excitement as well, and the joy and the happiness and all those things. But I think that you can find the joy and happiness in contentment as well. But I definitely agree with what you're saying. Like, I don't want it to just stay the same. I still want to keep growing and working towards things and goals. That does bring that passion for me as well. But yeah,
out where contentment is in your life.
Yeah.
Where it, because for me, in terms of a family perspective, with my husband and children, like, I'm super content, and I have no desire or strive to change any of that. So I guess I have contentment in my life, and as you say, so do you. But it's about, where do you place that contentment, and is it, where is it important to be content, and where is it important to still strive for more in whatever way, shape, or form?
Yeah. And I'd much rather feel contentment over those highs and lows, and over this, like, all, like, obviously everyone wants to be really happy, but that's not realistic all the time. If I can be content for the majority of the time, that's beautiful as well. But in a way, is that me not willing to face the dark sides as well, in just wanting this plateau and balance, And I think it's about, like, having that balance, and knowing that it's okay to experience all the emotions, but we can always come back to that contentment and realize that if we just let go of those labels, the judgments and things, then that we're causing all the suffering, then we can come back into it. I always come back into contentment through observing and just saying it is exactly as it is, as it's meant to be. All of this stuff is temporary, reminding myself that it's happening for me and not to me, and it will always pass. So that always helps. I think the meditation has definitely helped with feeling content as well.
Good. Yeah, I think contentment has so many different, I don't know if labels is the right word. It's not the right word. So, it sits in so many different places, and it comes up at so many different points. As you say, when you're going through highs and lows, most people don't necessarily even look at highs and lows as being something that you need to find contentment through. When would we ever even have that conversation, just generally in society? When you're in an absolute low, and someone say, "You content?"
Yeah.
But actually, what a healthy practice to say, actually, I'm experiencing a temporary low, but overall, I'm still content.
Yeah.
It's just a moment. It is not the whole picture.
Absolutely.
And I think that actually for myself often, and I hadn't really thought about it till this conversation, but I am, like, if you ask me, am I happy? Like, yes, I'm deeply happy. And that for me is contentment. And I've had some really horrific times over the last few years, and there have been moments when I've been deeply unhappy. But if I were to scale that out across that period, actually the overriding theme is actually I am deeply happy, I am deeply content, and even though I've had these waves, you know, I'm still happy. It's still there, and when I look back, you know, 10 years ago, I didn't have that.
Yeah.
Well, probably more years actually. But I didn't have happiness, and if someone asked me if I was happy, I wouldn't even know how to answer that.
Yeah.
So I've had to learn it the hard way, and I think that's what you're saying too, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I think we've sometimes got to go through those unhappy moments and those depths of bloody hell that are just horrible to go through in the moment to really know what you've got when you've got it, when you are happy. And you know, it's that the polar opposite of light and dark, right and wrong, sun, moon. It's like to experience and really realize what you've got and that happiness. It's about going through, yeah, all of the shit. And like you say, finding contentment in those lows as well. And I've definitely experienced that, probably not as much as I'd like to, and I'd like to keep practicing being okay and accepting in those moments of, because it's inevitable, right? We're all human, we're all supposed to go through highs and lows. We don't question it when it's all sunshine and daisies and everything's good, but we start to question and hate everything when times are tough. But yeah, it doesn't feel like it's going to be temporary in the moment, right? It feels like it's going to be there forever, and you're like, oh my god, got to get through this now, quick, run away, escape, suppress, whatever it is you do. But it's definitely about, if you can be content in that moment of, this is going to pass, it's okay, I'm just going to sit with this and everything will be okay. Like, there's power in that, to just allow ourselves to feel it.
It's real neutrality, isn't it? Contentment. It's not about high or low. It's about neutral zone.
Yeah.
I like that. So Jackie has just written here, I'm just going to read that out. Contentment for me is living a life I don't need to run away from. Some people work hard to go on holiday once a year to escape their lives. Contentment for me is walks on the beach, meals with friends and family, and a pile of good books to read. I do get your car high when I buy crystals and books, though.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like it's the simple things that bring the most pleasure and contentment.
Mm-hmm. Katie and I the other day talked about creating a life that you don't need a holiday from.
Yeah, I love that.
Jackie was just talking about. And you know what? Actually, I used to be a real travel bug. And I'm not that fast anymore. We're doing a lot of holidaying in the UK these days, not just for budget purposes, but because there's amazing places to explore that we haven't, because we've always thought we need to go abroad to see nice things.
Yeah.
And I don't really, and I don't know if it's because we have the children and stuff now and it's a bit different, but I just don't really get these cravings to, you know, go on these fantastic, like, fancy adventures to foreign lands anymore. I again feel a little bit content about actually exploring where I live is just as wonderful. And actually our whole goal as a family is to have a, you know, land where we can kind of free range our kids and we can have animals and grow our own food, and for us, I don't think we'd ever want to leave that or go on holiday once we've achieved that, you know. And that is what we're striving for. Now I think about it and talk about it out loud, is we are striving for contentment. So even our ambition towards contentment.
Yeah. And I love that, creating a life that you don't need a holiday from. That you're not trying to run away from and escape and having to book things that get you excited so that you have something to look forward to just so you can get through the day. You know, a lot of people do that as well, and then we're not present in the day-to-day stuff and we're wanting to escape from it.
Yeah, big subject. Same here.
Yeah, Cornwall,
Yeah,
Devon, Lake District. Yeah, lovely places.
we have
My dad lives in Cornwall.
all our favourite places as well, actually, funnily enough, and we offered on some land in Cornwall and weren't successful. But
Weren't?
No.
Oh, the universe has other plans for you at the minute.
Yeah, we keep trying.
Yeah.
So I believe you were going to do us a card reading, is that right?
Yes, let's do it. Okay. ready for you. Okay, so let's go with this pack today. I'm going to go with Ask Your Guides Oracle cards today. And if anyone watching or on the replay wants to just tune in a little bit so that we're in our bodies and we're calming our nervous systems a bit and opening ourselves up to receive. Often a lot of the time we're in our masculine go, go, go doing energy, whereas when we're tuning in for messages and asking for guidance, it's really good to get in our feminine energy of receptiveness and trust, and being able to receive. So we'll just take a couple of breaths in through our nose all the way to the top, slight pause, and then just releasing as you just relax your whole body, let anything go that you're holding on to. Another big deep breath in, and you're pulling your breath into your belly, into the diaphragm. This is what signals to our nervous system that we're safe, and it calms down. And just letting that go. Another deep breath in through the nose, all the way to the top, nice and slow. And just releasing with a bit of a sigh. And just softening out any areas of tension. You can feel your forehead's tensed up, just soften that out. Jaw, shoulders, let the arms go heavy. And just letting the legs soften and go heavy. And just bring your awareness to your feet and your toes. Softening and relaxing. And if you have any specific questions that you'd like any guidance on, I just invite you to say that in your head. Ask it in your head, or if you just want a general message, and we'll pull a couple of cards. So when you're ready, you can come back out, or you can stay and chill with your eyes closed while I pull a couple of cards. Okay, so we've got beautiful green energy card, which is all around the heart chakra energy. So it's really about resting, and it's come up with the Holy Spirit, and we've got the angel numbers 24. So 2 is all about you're exactly where you're supposed to be and stay present through any tough times, and 4 is all about that balance. So going in the theme of being content and picking up a lot on it's been a tough time for people lately, and to trust in that pain can bring power and wounds can bring wisdom. And it's really that call to go and get out in nature and allow nature to help and heal you as well. There's power in nature and being around the trees. I love to touch trees and hug trees, but you don't have to be as weird as me. And I think it's a dove, this beautiful dove flying overhead, just reminding us that we're being watched over. And just see what other card comes out with that. I'm being called to pull 2. And we've got another greeny bluey kind of energy. So it's around still the heart and the throat. So we've got survival and healer guides. So looking at these cards, there's some people, like the messages coming through that you felt quite alone lately, and there's been some tough challenges come through, but you're always guided and to remember to trust. You've got these big hands coming down, which is like, I'm watching over you. You're never alone. Although there's these sharks, there's this threat of danger around, the light is still there to trust. Let's see if anything else comes through. Anything else comes through. And they're saying, so to call upon them more. So whoever you call upon, if you believe in that or not, it's always good to either pray, to call upon your higher self, to God, if this resonates with you, to your guides. Because we have free will, they can't help unless we ask, and they're there waiting to help us. So they're really just reminding you that we're here and we're ready and waiting, but we need your permission to come and help in those times of need. And then let's have a quick look at, and then we've got number 19 on that card as well. So you've got the expansions and awakenings, and the 9 is all around release and a full circle. So it's all around this energy. I'm feeling you're coming out of the darkness and into the light, and there's been a lot of upgrades and activations recently coming through, and there needs to be some integration of that as well, and trust in sitting in those dark moments, knowing that you will come out the other end stronger and wiser for it, with lessons learned. And these lessons, some of them will come through quite quickly, but others I'm feeling like they will come through weeks or even months, and you'll look back and be like, oh, that's why. So let's have a quick look at this one too. So it's about meditation, prayer, withdrawal, and with retreat. So it's that hermit kind of energy. And to stop what you're doing and enjoy and find contentment in doing nothing and being with yourself. Stop trying to run away from yourself. I'm feeling like a lot of the people tuning into this message can keep themselves a bit busy, maybe numb a little bit, maybe just chuck on the Netflix for hours on end and binge, which is okay at times, but it's about bringing that balance in. It's that number 4 as well. So, you know, watch a little bit, and this is a message to myself as well, because I can definitely do that, but also bring some awareness to how that is serving you, and if you can bring in some kind of daily practice with consistency. So the card actually says, the actual book says, your overwhelming desire to back off from this whirlwind of activity and take a break, even throw in the towel altogether, isn't crazy or unrealistic. It's direct summons from the Holy Spirit to withdraw your attention from the other world and reconnect with your soul. Your life is not to be frittered away in meaningless and unexamined activity. So it's a period and a time of reflection as well. So you came in with purpose and a specific soul intention that you are neglecting. They're now knocking at the door for your attention, reminding you that you have commitments to keep. So as well, this will be in the form of a little bit of a struggle, same as like when we set a goal. So if we set a goal to get healthier, get fitter, what our body then does is gives us those feelings of guilt when we walk past a gym or we see someone running and we haven't made any progress towards our goal in months, and you're like, oh God. And that's because I know it's uncomfortable, but it helps us to give us that motivation through that suffering. So use it and sit with it without judgment, but with curiosity. So reminding you that you do have those commitments to keep. If you don't heed to this call and begin to self-examine and reflect, you may even enter the dark night of the soul. Definitely picking up dark night of the soul energy going on, but you will get through it, and there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and that's what they're saying here, and to call on us. So listen to that Holy Spirit, or whoever it is that you tune into, and take lots of time to be alone right now in that solitude and get in touch with your soul. Write a journal if you like, seek some counseling, pray, allow yourself to be in direct contact with the guiding wisdom of that Holy Spirit on a daily basis. So withdrawing from the world, whether through contemplation, meditation, or even a sabbatical, is the most powerful way to use your time right now. The Holy Spirit is guiding you in your quiet moments, and its message is right now to take that time for yourself. So yeah, beautiful. And then I'll quickly just go through this one, number 19. So there's some suspicion energy on this one: endurance, vigilance, and perseverance. So your healer guides surround you and lovingly embrace your momentary injured spirit. So they want you to recognize that all attacks, betrayals, or injuries that you've suffered, whether they are through the unconscious behaviors of others or through your own misunderstandings of poor choices, have left you physically wounded and fragile. It's no wonder your guard is up. It's difficult to trust even yourself at this time, but you must. And the only way to do so is to stop blaming yourself or others for what's occurred and forgive all the way around. So fully taking responsibility and not playing that victim, not feeling sorry for yourself, and accept the circumstances as they are. So learning from your experiences, knowing that it is happening for you and not to you. I know it's easier said than done in the moment. And strengthening your boundaries and judgments to things. All human beings make grave and sometimes terrible mistakes, and it's not your fault that you feel violated. It's just a lesson to learn from. Nor is it weak to acknowledge that you've been hurt. Denial may serve you in the midst of a crisis, but it only handicaps you if you stay mired to it. Not heard that word before. Admit to your injuries and disappointments, and allow the nurturing forces of your healer guides to step in now. So call upon them. They're able to soothe your soul and reweave your aura with their loving light and nurturing forces. Trust their influence by dropping your defenses and acknowledging your wounds. They urge you to seek support from capable, caring professionals who can help you learn from these disturbing experiences and show you how to prevent them from occurring again. Their message to you is: the danger has passed, you are safe. It's time to now heal and learn from your experience. So trusting and allowing yourself to let the barriers down. Often we put those walls up and barriers up because we've been hurt, but just trusting in all of it. Yeah, beautiful message. But I'm definitely sending love to anyone tuning into this right now, because I feel like a lot of people are going through it right now.
It's a heavy world at the moment.
Yeah,
that's why we do what we do, right?
Yeah. And we don't have to carry it all on our own. You know, I think a lot of people think that they have to carry the world on their shoulders, but not your responsibility. Just take responsibility for yourself. You can't change what's happened or how others hurt you, but we are responsible for our healing. And if that just means taking some time out to chill and
find our contentment.
Find the contentment. Yeah.
Good.
Then,
so much. That was a lovely way to round it off. And well, we'll see everyone again on Tuesday next week.
Yeah. See you all soon.
Thanks, Hayley.
Thank you, Luke. Good to see you. Bye, everyone.
Thursday, yeah?
Pardon?
See you Thursday.
Thursday game night. Yeah. See ya. Bye.
Bye, everyone.